Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 41 of the 72 review. We've got the usual lineup on the show today. Usual setup, we're going to go through all three divisions. We're going to start in League One, go to League Two, and then finish in the Championship. Get your comments in. It does drive conversation quite a bit, but we're going to pick 2 or 3 games per division and say a few words on those. I will go around the screen and let you introduce yourself. We'll start with Punk Chef 41. Who are you, what you do, and why do you do it?
I'm Punk Chef 41. I run a Sheffield Wednesday fan channel, and I also help host the Talking Wednesday podcast, which is out normally Mondays or Tuesday. We changed the date around. It's different. It'll have its set date again. And just talk about Wednesday in a minute. It's a little bit toxic, but hey, that's football for you. And here's my little friend become my little girl, decided to leave it in here, and it's been staring at me. So I thought you lot can enjoy the troll that's on my microphone.
Rather than seeing its backside.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. You might get demonetized.
In the bottom corner, just below Jake, is Ian Bradley. Let the people know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, mate.
Hello, I'm Ian. I'm a 61-year-old Rotherham season ticket holder. And when the Millers are away, I'm off around the country vlogging for Over the Bar YouTube channel.
Lovely stuff. Went to Derby yesterday, so we'll be talking about Derby against Fleetwood later on in the show. And to finish off the panel, we've got Around the Grounds Lee. Let everybody know who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm Lee. Around the Grounds YouTube channel, Groundhopper. When I'm not at Hillsborough watching my beloved Sheffield Wednesday, I'm Groundhopper, covering. Yeah, that's a new word, isn't it? Now, ground-hopping for my YouTube channel. I was at Donny Oppering, yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll catch on, Lee. I really do.
Yeah, it's new word, hashtag.
Hashtag ground-hoppering. Love it.
Yeah.
But no, you came to the Eco Power yesterday to watch Donny against Notts County. So we'll be touching on that when we get to League Two as well. You can give your views as a neutral because I'm still fuming about it. Before we start
as well, Lee also, he hit 3K really fast, and he's absolutely smashed it.
Mate.
Now end. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
No, you're doing a live audience as well, did you?
But no, if you are watching this show and you don't subscribe to any of these guys, please go ahead and do so. The links are in the description down below. As I said at the start of the episode of the show, get your comments in and we will go through as many as we can as we're talking about each division. But before we do get into the EFL, I do just want to send our congratulations and kind of commiserations out to the Lionesses. They proved it was just one step too far. Spain were really good today and they just fell at the final hurdle. But I think what we can all agree on is that they've achieved beyond what any of us kind of expected. The first final ever for a women's football team from England. I think that on its own merit should be celebrated. I'm not one for comparing the women's game to the men's game. I think the women are far too good to be compared to the men, and they stand rightfully on their own 2 feet, and we should be celebrating their successes individually, in my opinion. So yeah, get in the comments your thoughts on the Lionesses World Cup journey. Just unfortunate they fell at the final hurdle. I'm sure that trophy will come at some point in the future. So yeah, let's get into League One. I said.
Yeah, you said
on League One. Yeah, on League One, we always give a shout out to Nappers Cods Vlogs. He will be doing a League One roundup, which is more of a deep dive into League One. So we do recommend that you go and watch them because obviously I'm a Donny fan. We've got 2 Wednesday fans on the panel and a Rotherham fan. So League One isn't really our forte, but we try our best. And yet. Hopefully it will be for me next season and not for you guys, but we will see.
We did try to get someone on for like transfer deadline day, but they're all so busy. They're like, I don't know.
We have got a couple of comments in before we start at Derby. We've got Ryan, Sheffield Wednesday bottom. Wonder how many Yorkshire teams going to be in League One next year. Well,
they're all not doing well.
Yeah, I think we were talking before we came live. Yorkshire as a whole are not doing very good at football, are we? No. Leeds, Huddersfield, Harrogate.
We're lulling them all into a false sense of security.
Yeah, I like that.
We've got Liam in the chat as well. I'll when we get onto the Championship, Liam, please get these comments back in and we'll touch on Plymouth at that point. We've got S. Greenacre, it's annoying what's going on with Sheffield Wednesday. Fans want Cisco out. We need to be patient. We do indeed. We do indeed.
Very much so.
Oh, well deciphered.
Yeah. Yeah, Neil's coming about the Lionesses, current European Championship champions and runners-up in the World Cup. It's not too shabby. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's decent. But this is the 72 review, so let's get into the EFL. Ian, you went to Derby, you went to Pride Park to watch Derby against Fleetwood. Tell us what you saw, what you thought, and how the game panned out.
I don't think it was a bad watch at all. I mean, I'm not used to being in nearly 25,000 crowds in League One, but you get that at Derby. They're a very well-supported club. First half, it were all Derby. Mendeslang just had their full-back on toast. Crosses in all over the place. Waghorn should have had a first-half hat-trick, but he did get one of them. When Connor Washington shot, but it looked like an assist, but Waghorn got it. All the Fleetwood defenders stopped for offside. He wasn't, and he just easily put the ball in the net. Fleetwood were nothing as an attacking force in the first half at all, and I was a little bit worried. They looked quite poor. Whereas Derby, they were on top, but having said that, they still looked ropey at the back on one or two occasions. Paul Warren, in his post-match, he says they're not top three club yet, and I'd agree with that. Promotion favourites or not, they did enough to win. Fleetwood came back at them more in the second half, but for a worldy save from Joe Wildsmith, they'd have probably taken an equaliser. There were one or two more goal-mouth scrambles in the Derby 6-yard box, but Derby escaped. It was a win. It was possibly the deserved win for Derby, but they didn't impress me at all, really. And as for promotion favourites, I don't think so.
Yeah, did it come across as one of those games where it was kind of huffing and puffing, get it over the line and just mark it off, move on to the next one?
Yeah. And also their highly rated centre-back, Cashin or whatever they call him, it looks like he might be on his way to Brighton. And he were excellent again yesterday.
They've lost a lot of good players, though, haven't they, this window? They've managed to make a bit of sales kind of thing. I wonder if that's what costing them a little bit by just having big key players go.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe streamlining the squad a little bit too much. But overall, kind of just limped to the win. And
yeah, they limped over the line, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a win. It was probably a deserved win, but not impressive at all.
Ian, do you say you might be going to Brighton?
I'm sure he said Brighton. I'm sure one or two fans
So if that's the case, then we're waiting for the tug of war between Chelsea, Liverpool in about 4 years' time, who can get the best British transfer fee for him.
For 100 mil.
Yeah, because let's face it, do they do business well, Brighton? The brilliant.
Something stupid. 390 million they've made in sales.
That's how
how much did they pay? Did they actually pay?
4 million.
They've got that.
For Casado.
That Ewan Ferguson.
Yeah.
Striker.
I think
He's
McAllister
going to go
was
for 100 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably to Chelsea.
So well run. Unreal. There you go. Lump on it now. 100 million. You heard it here first. ATID's popped into the chat. He said, forgot what it was like to lose at home. Not disappointed. Could be a Wednesday or Donny fan. You could be indeed.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend it. It's not good for your mental health.
No.
But
your blood pressure.
This is why we do this. It cheers us up a bit. And he also says, can we please talk about the Pizza Cup champions getting humbled in their cup final?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a good place to go next in the early kickoff.
You've got to take your hat off to Wigan, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. 4 games in, they've wiped the 8-point deduction out, and they're on +2.
Yeah.
And they're just blowing teams away.
Chip on the shoulder.
Yeah, this was unexpected though, wasn't it? I think Bolton have started really, really well this season. You look at the stats: 20 shots at goal, 4 on target for Bolton. I think if they're a little bit,
don't matter how many shots they have, they've got to hit that thing in middle.
Well, yeah, that's it.
If you had 20 shots and 4 on target, it's not good enough.
What,
Yeah.
keeper, Ian?
With the wise man. Don't matter how many shots you have, you've got to hit that thing in middle.
At the end of the day, they had 5 shots on target and 4 of them went in.
Yeah, I think that's the difference, isn't it? I think Wigan on the day were absolutely clinical with the attempts that they had. Bolton looks like they were pretty wasteful. They had more of the ball, more shots, but just didn't capitalise on that and ended up getting absolutely battered. And like ATID says, it's not a nice one to lose in a derby like that. But fantastic for Wigan to get rid of the 8 points deduction as quickly as possible. I can't remember where we put them, lads. Can you? For the
Who, Wigan or Bolton?
I don't
I
know.
put Wigan lower mid-table.
I think I'd
Yeah.
say it depends on how they took the point deduction, kind of
Who
thing.
knows now?
Yeah.
If they carry on like they are doing now, they might be promotion candidate.
Yeah, I think we may have massively underestimated Wigan. I think they do have quite a small squad though, so a couple of injuries and things could
Windows
end up.
still open though.
Yeah, well, a couple
I'll
of
tell
injuries
you
may
this much, I'm
derail it.
really pleased for Charlie White with all his health
Yeah.
issues and whatnot. He's
Yeah,
banging
definitely.
the goals in somewhat chronic at the moment.
Yeah, well, no, massive congratulations to Wigan for getting into the positives as soon as possible and a fantastic win against local rivals to get them over that 0 point mark. Is there any games that you guys want to touch on?
Portsmouth, Cheltenham. The mentalness that was like something stupid, like 21 minutes at a time. It was something daft.
okay.
It was something mental because like the referee got injured, and then something happened, and they had no fourth official, so they had to find someone from the stands. Apart from that, it wasn't much. You really think that Portsmouth should be winning these games? But no disrespect to Cheltenham, but at home, these are the games that they need to pick 3 points up. And I think these are the games, if they don't, you go, are you going to do it again? Like you do every year. These are the games that they never really pick the points up or they
Of course
lose.
they are.
And you look at it, 73% possession, 27%. They have 1 shot on target to their 5. But again, it was just the mental thing with this whole new rule change with the minutes added on. It was like something stupid, like 21 minutes at a time.
See,
I saw that, yeah.
I'm not sure about the argument to players playing too long and stuff like this. I was having a conversation with my brother yesterday. If I decided to take 2 hours break for my lunch at work, I'd be expected to work an extra hour because I'm not entitled to it.
Yeah.
So for me, if the ball's out of play, they're not really working, are they?
No.
So I don't know. I think we've been missold the product of football for so long that we've probably just accepted that you pay for 90 minutes and you're going to get 50 to 60.
Yeah.
I think we've been losing out.
Or
So
30 when any Gareth Ainsworth club comes.
Yeah.
So I get that you're probably having to be switched on for longer as footballers, and it is mentally tiring. But if the ball's out of play, you're not doing sprints and stuff, are you? So
No.
I don't quite agree. I know it's one of those where you've got to kind of be a footballer to kind of fully understand it. But for me, I just don't get it.
It's one of those things where it's a rule change that come in to stamp it down and they are cutting down and everything. But again, it goes back to it. It's not consistent.
Yeah.
If you're going to have things like this, make it consistent. Kind of thing. Like
I do feel early on that it is starting to have an impact. I've not seen players deliberately time wasting as often as what I did last year. I don't know if it'll start creeping in. Lee, would you say the same from the games that you've been to? Can you see that it's having a positive impact on the ball being in play longer, or not so much at the minute?
No, not yet. I've not seen it. Couple of games I've watched that it's been your 4 and 5 minutes, but I won't tell if it's been out of play. But yeah, I've not noticed the difference. It's creeping down. I mean, the women's one today, I think it was 13 minutes. Wasn't
it was.
Yeah.
But there was an head injury, which it should be added on. To be fair, but I'll never have sympathy with a footballer that moans about too many games or minutes when you've got a working class man that's going out
played for one thing.
Yeah, to feed his family. I'm never going to have a sympathy with a footballer. I'm sorry.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I'm never going to have like sympathy for sodding Pep Guardiola. Who's like, oh, thank Premier League for making us play Saturday. Yeah. Welcome to the real world. We play Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday.
Yeah.
I'd love to get 200 grand a week for working
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Don't you know?
Obviously,
that, don't
training
you?
and you've got to keep your body in nick. You've got to eat properly. You've got to really take care of yourself.
But
And
again, if you
I'll
read
be
any
honest,
of the like
I don't.
autobiographies of footballers, the reason why a lot of them gamble is because after training they're bored as shit.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do with themselves.
I've had to work this morning just to pay for my football habit that I've got now.
Football habit.
Yeah.
Football Anonymous.
Yeah.
You've got to find a revenue stream.
Yeah. We've got a couple of comments that have popped in while we've just been chatting. ATID Southampton were a disgrace for it yesterday, yet the ref didn't care. Useless. Yeah, I think that's it. We want to see consistency. If the rule's there, follow it.
I think these ex-Prem clubs, your Leeds, your Leicesters, your Southamptons, I think they might get protected a little bit more than probably the rest of the Championship clubs.
Yeah.
You saying there's
Bias.
yeah, there's bias from referees, Ian. I don't believe you. I'm not buying it.
Bobby Madley.
John's popped in. The rule where the players who receive attention to have to be off for the pitch for 30 seconds is having an effect. So many aren't going down so easy, claiming the legs falling off. Yeah, I think that is starting to have an impact where because their teams ended up getting a negative effect from that, then they are kind of playing on a little bit more. We've got Maple Leaf as well. So Maple Leaf normally comments later on in the week when he's watching the show. He's finally caught one live. So welcome to the show. Regarding SWFC, have to be patient. Munoz is still figuring out what he has. Got to give him a month or two. Still would be nice to pick up a few points.
Sensible comment.
Yeah, we do have some sensible commenters every now and again. I think we've got quite a good community who watch this. To be fair, there's not many stupid people who come on.
Maple Leaf, I'm pretty sure Maple Leaf also is the person who does a table where he works. He just does a league table. So that making sure that you can have something propping us up.
League One. Is there any more games that you guys?
For me,
Go for it.
I mean, Port Vale got blasted 7-0 on the opening day at Barnsley, and they've not put a foot wrong since. They were a fantastic win at Charlton.
They did indeed. Claxon.
I've already heard of it.
Decent goals as well. It looked a decent game altogether. Because
Yeah,
Charlton, I think, will be close this season, especially with Alfie May in the team, and they've bolstered their attack a bit. But Port Vale, excellent, absolutely excellent.
Yeah,
it's like that opening game was just a blip, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For both Port Vale and Barnsley, because it's flipped for both of them, hasn't it? Mm-hmm. Barnsley put 7 past Port Vale, and then they've had a bit of a tough time of it. I think we'll head there.
I think it were a case that Barnsley were just clinical.
Howie Brannigan still at that club?
I don't know. He's good, innit?
Yeah.
I'd just have him at my club just to take penalties. Because he doesn't miss them, does he? He never misses a penalty.
No. You're saying Barnsley were clinical on opening day?
Yeah, it just looks like Barnsley were clinical on the opening day. Since then, they've stuttered a little bit, but Oxford look like they're finding the feet. Is it now?
I mean, look at the week they've had. Winning at Derby and winning at Barnsley.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pretty good week, that.
Manning's a good coach, though.
Yeah.
He proved that at MK.
Yeah, definitely. The only game that I wanted to touch on in League One was Cambridge, because I think we all had them as struggling this season.
Yeah,
and
we did.
They've started
a fantastic
superbly.
start.
Yeah, 2 late goals gave them all 3 points, and it places them top, early front runners. And we'll not look at the table yet. We'll give it a couple more games before we start looking at the table, especially because of how all our respective teams are doing. We'll try and get some points on the board before we look at it. Before we're looking at the tables.
Please.
So we'll take a look at the table about December then.
All viewers are currently booing.
But yeah, Cambridge started really well. I think they've got 3 wins and a defeat from their opening 4, so 9 points puts them top of the table. Claxon, Jake, Okenabiri getting on the score sheet.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. wearing the klaxon out. So Cambridge doing well. Do you think? Question to all three of you. We'll start with Jake to answer. Do you think Cambridge will be one of those teams that starts really well and then tails off?
It depends. It depends on if they can say injury hit free. Because I think if they can keep injury hit free, maybe bring in another player in this last little bit of the window, they could be up there, and I think they could shock people. It all depends. What normally happens when you get these teams who start early, where they are around Christmas and how they deal with those games, because it comes thick and fast in Christmas in League One. We all know that.
Yeah.
No,
3 game weeks are the norm, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Cambridge will start strongly, tail off, or start strongly and continue to perform?
Well, they've had a fantastic start, don't get me wrong, but they've got a really small squad. And like I said, if injuries and suspensions kick in, they might find it difficult. But I still think even if they're finished in the top half, it'll be a massive success.
I'd agree with
I
that.
can't see them as long-term promotion candidates, no.
No. And finally, Lee, what do you reckon on Cambridge?
Yeah, it's going to be based on squad size, like these guys have said, but winning breeds confidence, so you just never know. They could be one of them teams that catch everyone on unawares and just keep building all season. You always got to look at the Leicester model when they won the Premier League. It was just confidence, wasn't it? They just went on a roll. They
did indeed. We've got a comment in here. I'll just get the banner off from Lizzie. I think you need to answer this here. I knew somebody would notice it.
I actually thought it would be Lizzie that wouldn't notice it as well.
It's called solidarity.
We're a united front.
And also, it makes me feel better because at least there's one club doing worse than us.
Whoa, no need for that.
It's all right. Off air, he kissed the badge, so you'll be happy to.
Like hell, I did.
Daffy recorded it. Fine, it's going on afterwards.
Tune in next week and you'll see him in a Chef Wednesday shirt.
Or a Deportivo wanker one.
Sorry. I think I can see pig flying. That's never going to happen.
I could do a ceremonial burning.
Any more for League One, or are we happy to move on to League Two?
Ian, you got to use ketchup if you do that. That's what Tottenham fan did to Harry Kane's shirt.
Ruined his socks as well.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Any more in League One?
Yeah, good win for Northampton in the Neen derby against Peterborough. It were a surprise, that.
Very late goal, though, wasn't it?
Smash and grab.
Oh, and it was a weird goal as well because keeper fumbled it on line. Did you see it on the highlights?
Yeah, he's kind of he's caught it and then fell behind the line, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some right limbs though.
Yeah, going to say Lino were on the ball. He's seen it and given it. So yeah, decent.
So VAR, you can shove it up your backside. Don't need you.
Trust your officials. They're all fantastic.
I wonder if that Peterborough Portsmouth game linesman a bit Sunday League-esque, flagging up every 2 minutes.
Well, with me being an old man, I can remember back in, I think it was the 70s, where Jimmy Hill was commentating on a game, and the same thing happened at Portsmouth yesterday, and he ended up running the line. And he was commentating for BBC. He ended up running line because he was qualified.
That's awesome.
Sydney's popped in. I think this is for you, Ian. It's a spare Bradford shirt if you want. I think this could be a running theme.
Well, there might be, to be honest, Sydney, there might be a size issue here.
It'll just be a rolling thing. We'll just see what shirt Ian wears.
Oh, I'm going to make it a thing now.
You have to open a PO box so people can send shirt for Ian. #.
We're going to PO box. I'll send them my address.
There we go.
Get him
people
one with
rocking up to
Madley
Ian's
on.
house.
Get him one with Madley on back. He'll love
that. Okay, moving on to League Two. I'm still fuming about this result. Very disappointed in performance and result. But Lee, I'll let you take this because you went as a neutral. tell us your thoughts, and then I'll interject and probably go off at handle. So I'll let you take it, because, like I say, I'm still very disappointed in performance and result.
Yeah, you've ruffled some feathers, mate. I'll be honest. The Notts County fan base are really not happy with you.
You're right.
Don't do the away like Dan.
Now, coming into this one, you sort of know what you're going to get with Notts County. I watched them a few times last season. They get the ball down, they play it the right way. They are an attractive team to watch, but on the other hand, you've got to press them and get in the face. And I really feel in this one, Donny, we said Dan didn't lay a glove on Notts County, so. Did they get out of second gear, really? Do you think, Dan?
I don't think they did, mate, no. And that's what really frustrated me. And I think this is why Notts County fans are kind of having a bit of a pop at me, saying that I've given them no credit. I honestly think they don't, well, it's probably a bit harsh saying that they don't deserve any credit. I just think we were that poor that any National League team would have turned us over yesterday. And I just think we allowed them far too much time and space on the ball.
Yeah.
I think all 3 goals were avoidable, and I know you can look at every single goal that's scored across the EFL and say that there's points, there's errors that lead up to that goal, and it should be avoidable. But it's simple, basic defending that we've not dealt with. And
it's unlike Grant McCann as well.
Yeah, it's going to take time. If there's anybody I think can turn this around and get the best out of this squad, it's Grant McCann. And I've seen on social media people saying that we're no better off. We are. We've got a manager that's been there, done it. He's got the t-shirt. He's got promotions. I think we need patience, and we need to be behind Grant McCann at the minute.
You need to back him as a fan base as well.
We've got injuries, but I'm not buying that. We've got a big enough squad that we should be dealing with those injuries and not seeing such a drop off in performance like we saw yesterday. But yeah, I mean, I'll bring Adam in. He said that County were there for the taking. We completely stood off them, let them do whatever they wanted with the ball. We did, and I think that just ended up leading to an absolutely dire performance, just an abject performance from front to back, and that's why I've been so frustrated over the last couple of days, and probably not give Notts County the credit they deserve. Like you said, Lee, they didn't really get out of second gear, so I think credit's given to that because they obviously have more gears to go to. We just didn't force them to do anything other than be quite comfortable on the ball, and that's more on us than Notts County playing well, I think. But
I think with that, I watched them in the National League final, and Chesterfield were a prime example of that. They really got at County and caused them all sorts of issues on the day, and I think County fans will be honest with you. I think they were lucky to go up that day.
I do.
Because Chesterfield, I thought,
to be honest, I think Chesterfield should have been three goals up before Notts County even scored.
Yeah, but it's prime example. If you get at County, like, is it the winger Tyler Roberts? Is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he skinned the fullback. He absolutely shanked it wide. But it were prime example. If you get at him, the opportunities are there. But after that, Donny just seemed to go back into the shell and just like half-hearted press instead of doing it as a unit and really causing them problems. I just think just made it easy for County. And I think County fans didn't expect it that easy a ride on the day. I think they expected Donny to put more of a fight up because
I've got an idea. Dan. Why don't you play your home games on a Friday night? And then you're always under lights. You might do well.
Yeah, we just need to avoid Saturday football, but that's a problem because that's when we play.
It could be worse. You could be the Barnsley fan at the Barnsley fan forum woman who asked if they could change the kickoff to night time because she works days.
You don't get if you don't ask.
Yep.
But no, on this game, obviously Langstaff gets off the mark. The question marks over when that first goal was going to come. It was a bit like buses. Far too easy for Langstaff, just left in the middle of two defenders both times. And I don't think he'll score many easier goals. A decent finish from Jody Jones to make it 3-0. And I don't know, question to you, Lee. obviously, first 45 minutes they weren't great. Grant McCann's made 3 subs at half time. Do you think maybe he should have left the squad as it was, gave some words of encouragement in the interval and in the halftime break, and then seen how it progressed for the first 10 minutes? Do you think making 3 changes could have potentially impacted the setup of the squad, which led to 2 easy goals, or do you think he probably made the right decision changing it?
Yeah, I think he made the right decision changing. I think as a manager, you've got to stand by them decisions. End of the day, he's still trying to build that winning formula, starting 11 type thing. He's still trying to build it. A lot of clubs are. So he's got to know what his 11 is that he can trust fairly sharpish. And I think that I'm not going to pronounce the names because I don't know what they're called. The lad that scored, I thought he were bright. He tried to get at him.
Deji.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. You need players like that to cause problems. Because you just made it easy for County on the day.
Lee, that Deji Sonner, we were linked with him last season. 'Cause I remember doing a video about him, and
Where's
he was
he
like, he was at Hearts, I think he was at Hearts, but he's out of Man United Academy originally, and we were linked with him.
Who was the tall one that come on, Dan?
Oh, that were Mo Fall from West Brom. I think they were the 2 that came out of the game for me with any sort of credit. Everybody else, it was just a poor performance, and we saw it against Newport where too many had a bad day, and when you've got too many on and off day, I
did like Grant McCann's reaction to his thing. How do you think the player felt about being subbed off? And they just went, "I don't care."
Yeah,
I think that's the right attitude.
Yeah,
I actually think that's the right attitude to go, "I'm not bothered. They came off because they weren't doing their jobs, so I'm not bothered. They got an issue with it. Come to me."
Exactly, Dan. And how many times have we said as football fans, don't matter who you support, you're quite happy. Well, you're not happy to lose, but you can almost accept it if you know the players have put that shift in and give it a go. And I felt Donny Rovers, and a couple, you may be right back. I thought he were quite strong. Obviously,
I think the thing that we're seeing a lot of through the EFL now is that a lot of teams are playing out from the back. A lot of them are playing 4-3 at the back and playing the wing back system, which I don't think works very well. And a lot of them playing 1 up top, even at home. It's very alien after so many years. You're right, Ian.
We'll get on to this.
But it's very alienate for teams that have been so used to doing either a fundamental 4-4-2 or where you've got a second striker so you can play off. And I think there's so many teams that are playing this style of football now. It's alien to them all.
One thing, Lizzie's just commented about Richard Wood. I was just literally going to get onto that. He doesn't seem to be himself, would he? He doesn't seem to be commanding. I've seen him at Wednesdays and seen him at Rotherham. He just seems in his shell. I don't know what's.
I don't know what's happening there. I thought he'd make a better fist of it than he has so far.
I think the problem is we've got a lack of midfield. So you see Wood meandering into the CDM position. He shouldn't be there. That's not his position. He needs to be in the back 4, like you say, organising, commanding. But I feel like he's having to cover for his midfield or the lack of midfield that we've got, which then puts him miles out of position, and it's just getting turned too easily.
I mean, exactly. I mean, he's not the quickest, and he's going to turn his circle like a double-decker bus. Yeah. So CDM isn't his position. He's got to be, like you said, Dan, he's got to be back 4 organising.
Do you think there's a lot of managers who are playing players out of position because they're either trying something new with a load of different players, or they're trying to put their style on and they don't have the player for it?
Yeah, it's that, Jay.
Yeah, I don't think we're playing Wood out of position as such. I mean, like Lewis has said here, can't blame Wood when everyone's shit around him. Liz is saying at Newport he looked nervous on the ball, like he didn't know what to do with it. Him being slow brings Oliver out of position. Maybe he's doing an Ian and being a Miller in a Donny shirt.
Possibly.
I hope not. I just think I think he's just trying to cover for the lack of midfield that we've got, and probably trying to to get rid of the ball high up the pitch before it gets in
still
and
think
around
it'll
our
come good.
defensive third. But
Yeah.
it's just getting isolated and
I
just,
think the name of this show should be Time and Patience.
yeah.
Yeah, and fans ain't got a lot of either, have they?
No.
I think yesterday
Success or nothing.
you said, Dan, you're lacking that nasty man in the middle. I think we're crying out for someone just to smash into someone, just to get the crowd going.
Crowd's been going.
Sometimes it needs that. In
You know what?
football.
There isn't that player anymore in football, though. You notice that that style of player gone.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not-
been kind of taken out of the game, hasn't it, a bit? But
On-
You need a ball winner in midfield.
Yeah.
On county, Dan, do you want to obviously say what's happened? You've got a bit of grief, have you?
fuck 'em. No, we're moving on.
This one's set up, by the way.
No, in all fairness, I've had a bit of grief for not giving credit to County for a decent win. But nah, bollocks to
Doesn't
them.
matter.
We
Doesn't
were
matter.
shit and they weren't much better.
You said fuck them. You said bollocks them. You're getting clipped up now.
I'm not bothered. Like I say, we were shit. They weren't much better. Let's move on. Where we're going.
Fair dues.
Fall on your sword.
Tell you what, I'd like to point out, and that's the fantastic start for AFC Wimbledon.
Yeah.
I mean, they were a lot of people's tip to go down this season, but they've started really well, and they started racking the wins up now, and that was a good result at Sutton, because Sutton are normally very strong at home. And 3 goals out of 5 shots on target, efficiency again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cracking third goal and all.
Oh, it were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
That's
unbeaten
a local
start for
derby as
Wimbledon.
well, isn't it?
2 wins, 2 draws.
It's both South London,
Yeah.
Sutton and Wimbledon. Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, Ian, this were one of those teams that we didn't expect to do much, and they're currently sat in third after an unbeaten start. So yeah, very good.
What do we
Remember
know?
that old saying, 1-0 to the Arsenal? What about Gillingham?
Yeah.
4 1-0 wins.
Efficiency. Obviously, we're big fans of Gills in the Blood TV. He said that he's going to come on
100%.
at some point, so we will get him on in the future. But yeah, unreal start for Gillingham. Like you say, just 1-0 wins.
Like they soaked up
grinding
a
that
lot of
result.
pressure as well. Soaked up a lot of pressure and just got that own goal and just winning. But
360 minutes, 360 minutes plus, we are conceding a goal. Wow, that is good.
it just shows you how good your defense is.
Yeah.
If you can win 1-0 and have a decent defense, you can get out of leagues.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We did it.
I think you've said that you're going to head that way, didn't you, Lee? On one of your future ground offerings.
Yeah, ground operings I'll be venturing there. I went years ago when Wednesdays played them. I can't remember what year
It's
it was.
a hell of a long trip down there.
Yeah, I lived down there though, so it was a nice local one for me, but I'll definitely be going back. So a decent chippy there, I believe.
Lee, if
when
you
I-
don't get
when I-
ground hopping in on a shirt, my missus will make it for you.
Oh, get her to make one.
I,
Yeah,
be- I
ground
believe
offering.
I believe they're starting calling Gillingham 1-Nillingham. No?
That's awesome. I like that.
I'm not taking reward for that. I have seen that on Twitter, but I thought it was quite,
No, that's actually awesome.
quite good.
Sod it, mate. Take credit for that one. Ground
Yeah,
operating
yeah,
and
definitely.
Gillingham 1-0 in.
And what about Hollywood FC?
Oh,
Yeah,
that
we've just got a Swindon fan that's popped in. He's looking forward to Donny away in 2 weeks. Hope it's not like Wrexham away when we drew 5-5. Do you know what? I'd take that because it means that we get a point.
means you get some goals.
That incredible. The brilliant at attack and they can't defend. Oh,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
unbelievable.
Some of them chances that I'd say Forster, his reactions are not there.
Yeah,
No.
ATID's just said about it. We have to talk about the 5-5 and how Ben Foster at this point is just there because he's a YouTuber. I think a video got put together from the 5 that conceded. It looks like his reactions are not quite what they used to be.
No.
I
He's
don't
an
think
old man.
defense has helped him though.
You won't
There's
say
chance
that.
for us. There's chance
But
for us
when
to
you,
get a
when
number
you
one
score
spot.
5 away from home, and especially when you're 4-1 up at half time, you don't expect to just get a single point, do you?
No.
No, I think Swindon fans will be coming away from that disappointed that
They'll be
obviously
spitting
scoring 5 away
feathers.
from home.
Like the thing is, 6 shots on target, 5 goals. Again, it's
Efficient.
another one of those ones where it shows you. But 28 and 12 could have been worse.
You
If
probably
some of
will.
them went in.
Get
I mean, let's
to,
face it,
Bradford.
Charlie Austin's a cheat code for League Two, isn't
Oh yeah.
Even at
He
his
is
age.
indeed. We've got quite a few Bradford fans in the chat. They're pretty regular
Yeah,
viewers, so we will touch on them.
let him have it.
Obviously, at the start of the episode, we said that Yorkshire's not very good at football. It's not just South Yorkshire with our clubs. I think it's the whole of Yorkshire have not started particularly well this season. Bradford are
I think all Yorkshire teams need to go on a cinema to learn how to play football again.
Yeah, I think we need to get his heads together and sort of sends out. ATID's pop straight in with Derek Adams. That'll trigger some Bradford fans, I think. But yeah, it's a poor result, isn't it? I mean, Morecambe were battered last week, I believe, at Newport or midweek.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
just check their matches. Sorry,
Got done
Mansfield.
3-0 at Mansfield, yeah.
Obviously, the 0-0 midweek steadied the ship a little bit, but this was very unexpected.
That's efficiency as well. I mean, Morecambe shots on target.
Yeah, 3 again. 3
Yeah.
all goals. It's just it's a weird one with some of the things at the minute, because the teams that you expect to do a little bit better are having these games at the minute where you can tell it's early doors, because there's lots of teams who have just not got where the vision is from the gaffers and stuff, and how they want to play. I think you could tell that some of these needed another 2-3 months in pre-season.
Yeah. Also, the expectations at Valley Parade are so high.
The defending
they've got everything. They've got the infrastructure. They've got the stadium. They've got the fan base. They just haven't got the team as yet. They've even got the manager.
Yeah.
I think they'll be. I'm hoping that Bradford's start to the season is similar to Donny's, and that we push on towards a midpoint of the season and towards the end and do what we've seen so often in across all 3 divisions, where a club's struggling towards the bottom and then push on and get a bit of consistency. I think, like you say, they've got the fan base, they've got the manager. I think they've probably got the squad in place to be performing much better than what they are now.
The squad's pretty good.
Yeah, this was one of many that ruined my accumulator this weekend.
I think if you look with Bradford City, I don't think they're all behind Hughes. I think Sid touched on it in the chat. I think if you don't get a result on Crew, it could get quite toxic for Hughes.
Yeah,
I don't think they're fully on board with him.
And I think that's
the VAD. It's understandable, but we're still only 4 games in.
I think you've got to look at it as a bigger picture, though, Ian, because we're getting quite a lot of this as Donny fans when we're starting to fly off at handle a little bit. I think Bradford have been in League Two now for 5-6 seasons, maybe more.
Yeah, too long.
Yeah, exactly, too long. And I think this is potentially the last throw at dice. They need to be going up this season to kind of keep fans on board. But yeah,
I think that's where
we draw parallels with Mansfield, because they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
I mean, not got the fan base, obviously, that Bradford have got, but Mansfield, they're always there or thereabouts, but they're never quite.
They're always the nearly team, aren't they?
Yeah.
Neil's saying that we need to stick with Mark Hughes. We've had 20 managers in 20 years, so yeah, that turnover is never going to help a club, is it? You mentioned Crew. I had them on my list to have a quick look at, because I think they're going under the radar a little bit. I think they're a team that's got fight and determination.
They're unbeaten, and I think they've won 1, and the 3 that they've drawn on each occasion, they've come back from being 2 goals down to draw.
That.
Yeah, that's good. That I think Crew are one of those teams that always fly under the radar, though, don't they? They've been that kind of team that flies under the radar. Don't look at us until you get to near the end. It's like, where the hell did you come from?
Yeah, and I think this is showing
as well. It's an absolutely cracking away day.
Yeah.
Crew.
But I think what they've shown in the first 4 games this season is a bit of grit and determination, which Lee mentioned earlier. That's all we want to see as fans of any of the 72 clubs. Effort level, going 2-0 down in 3 of the games this season so far, and getting points out of it, they'll feel like wins for sure. But
we're in 90 plus 4, the equaliser. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll feel like a winner, won't it?
Yeah.
Is there anybody else you guys want to touch on before we move on to
MK? Keep doing it.
Yeah, MK.
Coming back from being 2-1 down as well. And Issa scored again for, is it 4th game running?
Yeah.
So
and his brother scored for Grimsby as well.
Yeah, it was decent finish, that one as well, wasn't it?
Oh, Grimsby won.
Yeah, probably goal a day for me.
Yeah. I think
On this one, I worry because we've got them on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
if they're that efficient now, and how you work weekend, I'll be very worried. Yeah,
we need a performance against these, or it could be a cricket score. Lewis has popped in saying MK stopped us being rock bottom. They did indeed. So yeah, hopefully it stays a little bit like this, because I got some hammer from Colchester fans at the start of the season, so that'll be nice.
Who are you not pissing off this season?
I don't know.
You get Christmas cards, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm scrubbed off a Christmas card list from many a club.
I'll send you.
Cheers, mate. Moving on to the Championship, let us start with Sunderland Rotherham. Ian, take this one away, mate.
Well, obviously I weren't there, but it's not entirely unexpected. The only unexpected thing was Sunderland's goal scorer, Joe Bellingham, and 2 cracking finishers. And that's Real Madrid Bellingham's brother, isn't it? He's only 17. It's his first senior goals. The problem I've got with what Matt Taylor does away from home is he sets up not to get beat. He's so defensive, it's unbelievable. He just played Hugill up top on his own and tried to flood the midfield. I mean, for a time in the first half it worked, and I think we scored a lovely goal with a Odoffin. And as what normally happens with us, it's happened 3 times this season. The player that scores a goal ends up going off either sent off or injured. But yeah, we were competitive. We were always in the game, but we just didn't look like scoring second half. And to be honest with you, if I were there and halfway through the second half he brings Tom Eaves on as a sub, I think I'd have walked out of the stadium then.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid with Mr. Eaves, unfortunately, when Paul Wallen gave him a 3-year contract at the start of last season, I don't think he knew what he were buying. He couldn't hit a barn door with a bazooka, as far as strikers goes. I mean, I don't know, he probably needs to go out on loan somewhere, but it certainly doesn't enhance our squad. I'm not surprised. I'm slightly relieved it was competitive and we only lost 2-1, but yeah, we know where we are in the food chain, and we know how difficult it's going to be. But at least we've got an easy home game on Saturday, Leicester at home.
Ian, I think that's
a little bit down, but it's not unexpected.
Yeah,
I think that's the problem with Wednesday, and I think a lot of fans' expectations are too high for where we actually they're going to finish. I mean, mine, it's nothing other than a relegation fight for me. I think a lot are just frustrated that they're going to think they're going to be higher than what they actually are. It's a bloody tough league, mate.
Yeah. In fact, I think the Championship this season is the toughest it's ever been, because we've got clubs in this division that are absolutely swimming in money. I mean, I take the point at our opponents next Saturday, Leicester City. I mean, they've just sold Maddison and Barnes. They're getting the parachute payments. They've got an idiotic amount of money at that club.
Yeah, it's not a level playing field.
Our club like Rotherham can compete on a level playing field. We just can't. And that's why I've always been so against the parachute payment. I think it creates an unfair advantage on the clubs that have been relegated from the Premier League.
We talk about getting rid of parachute payments, weren't they, at some point?
Yeah.
Did I make that up, or was that conversation had at some point?
I've probably brought it up again, but it does. It annoys me.
Yeah,
because I think it's unfair.
Scotch 24's popped in. Rotherham will turn up against Wednesday. They always turn into Barca when the playoffs.
I mean, we've got to have his annual 3 points at Hillsborough. It's tradition.
Least few.
Having said that, Wednesday will probably win at our place. They tend to.
Yeah. And Neil also said that Rotherham will always be competitive. They cause some big teams a lot of problems. Not many teams look forward to coming to play Rotherham.
Well, the only string to our bow we have at championship level is we've got to get in the faces, because if we allow teams like we did against Luton last season, we admired them from afar and let them do what they want. They absolutely destroyed us. And that's what Leicester will do if we do that. We've got to get in the faces, get a bit nasty, a bit, one or two iffy tackles, whatever, just to shake them up a bit. Then we might have a squeak.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
I think Abaddon said something that kind of hits the nail on the head as well. Like, Leeds have got the parachute payments, they've got money, but it's a shambles there at the minute. Half the team's left, half the team wants to leave. So I think kind of the atmosphere around the club has a big impact as well. But I do think the money that parachute payments give it just makes it an unfair, unlevel playing field. It's not right.
Yeah. Apologies, lads. I had a phone call from my lass.
Yeah, no worries. John said the EFL chairman said before League One playoff final last season the parachute payments have to go. So potentially we might see that in the future where parachute payments are gone, because it does make it unfair.
I mean,
you can't reward
dictates everything. They actually, I mean, the EFL even have to answer to the Premier League.
They bend down to the Premier League. That's simple as it. They vote for what the parachute payments in. Championship clubs and League One, League Two didn't vote for it. Premier League.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't.
When the last time Wednesday were in the Premier League, were it 99 or 2000 or something?
99.
Did they have parachute payments then?
No.
I don't think they did.
And it crippled us.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, let me find out.
You just can't reward teams for getting relegated. It's just don't sit right. You look at Sheffield United.
If I remember rightly, when Barnsley had the one season in the Premier League, it nearly bankrupted them.
Yeah. It bankrupted Bradford.
Yeah.
So parachute payments came in the 15-16 season onwards.
All right.
Neil's popped it. It's rewarding relegation. I'll say it for you, Lee. I think you tried saying it a couple of times and everyone was just like, rah.
I think the thing is, you shouldn't be rewarded for the thing.
It's this bugger above me.
You love me, really, Lee.
I don't think Ian has any sort of social communication or interaction throughout the week. This is the only time.
It gets a lot off my chest. That's all I'm saying.
Right, moving on. Obviously, we've got ATID in the chat. We've got Liam Martin. Let's move to Plymouth Southampton, and then we'll go Sheff Wednesday Preston.
Fine with me.
So, on this one, Liam's just popped in. Good about Argyle's defeat yesterday. Personally, don't think we deserve to lose. Thought a draw would have been a fair result, but if we keep playing like we did yesterday, we'll easily stay up. And I think that's got a bit minimum expectation.
Plymouth fans shouldn't have any fears on relegation at all. They'll be fine.
They're safe.
They'll be absolutely fine.
They recruit well. Schumacher knows what he's doing. I think the thing is, the only issue you got, Liam, is it looks like Che Adam could be sold next week. If fucking Ward-Prowse sodded off to West Ham a bit quick, he might not played against us. And if Kellett can go, the thing is, Southampton are a really classic example. They can turn down 50 million, 30 million, 10 million.
A championship
club
that sort of money
shouldn't be able to turn down that kind of money. It should be, of course, you're having that go.
Yeah,
that's the issue. You shouldn't be able to do. I think in that game, I watched a little bit of this one. I thought when they went ahead, but you started well. You started well again, and again, Che Adams does have a habit of scoring last-minute goals. He knows where to get. He's such a poacher.
Yeah.
It's positioning, isn't it? It's positioning.
Yeah.
I mean, he were there. Everybody had forgotten he were there at the back post, and he just knocks it in.
Yeah.
But
I
I
found-
will say this. I mean, Nathan Teller. I mean, he was just taking the mickey out of the championship for Burnley last season, weren't he, until he got injured?
And again,
So what a
it's
player.
really
I mean,
big,
he's a
isn't it?
Southampton player.
but again,
Ideal for championship.
They've managed to like turn down a bid for Teller from Burnley.
Yeah, they shouldn't
Ridiculous.
be able to do that, but they can. I found ATID's comment from earlier. He can't complain about Argyle's loss. Gave 100%, and like Lee said earlier, that's all we expect as fans or want as fans. Undone by a Premier League striker's instinct to be on the line at a free kick.
You've had a good start.
Yeah, gutted his own record, took a dint, but not complaining about the start. Like I've said, 21st is an amazing season for us. We're looking much better than that at the minute, but it's a long season. I agree with that, mate. You're looking much better than a 21st place finish. I think the guys have agreed that
Argyle have got no fears of going down. They'll be comfortably mid-table.
Definitely.
MTFC likes Southampton's kit. Yeah, I was a fan of that. The white and green one. It's quite nice.
Yes.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
It's better than their home kit.
Oh,
Yeah.
home's terrible.
So moving on to Wednesday. Jake, this one's all yours. Lee, interject. Obviously, you were at the Donny County game yesterday, but I'm guessing you've seen the social media fallout and things like that. So, Jake, take it away, and then Lee, get in where you can if you're not talking.
The first half was much better from Wednesday. We kept the ball better. We managed to just have a bit more about them. Mo Diaby running that midfield for us. With what we've missed someone who's strong enough to hold the ball and let people go further forward. Again, one of the issues is he's playing Barry Bannon as a number 10. Barry Bannon isn't a 10. He's playing Akin Femero as a left back. He's more of a centre back than he's a left back, but the gaffer wants him as a left back. You can't change that. That's his decision. We played some good stuff. One of my issues in the first half, there was so many balls that were going forward, and Lee Gregory just doesn't have the leg to do that running anymore. And I don't think Smith has. I think we need a younger striker up top, just if we're going to play these balls in behind, just so he's got a bit of pace. But played really well in the first half. I thought Masaba did well. The lad we just got from Monaco did well with his defensive quality. Half time, I'm thinking might be able to look at improving on that. I was actually happy with the first half, thinking, right, this is decent. Second half, 5 minutes in, simple ball into the box, it's 1-0. And the problem is, the marking zonally. Both players are marking two sets of space, and the bloke just gone nipped in the middle and gone, I'll go here then. And it's an easy goal. It's a very, very simple goal. And then Mo Diaby gets injured, which then knackers our midfield because he goes off, he was winning everything. Typical Wednesday, player comes in on loan, does really well, then gets injured. It sounds like it's his metatarsal. And if it's his metatarsal, he's out for 2 months. So we're going to have to go back into the transfer market to get another one. There were improvements, like, again, the last game, like we went from 20% possession versus Southampton at home, 27% versus Hull, 53% possession. So that's gone up. There were signs where it was improving, but the thing is, we're again, I think Wednesday, Rotherham, Donny, we're all starting to learn new things and new ways of playing. For Rotherham, it's the first time having a full season with Taylor. For us, it's a brand new manager who's a month in. This is what I keep telling people. He's a month in and people are like, we need to get rid of him. He's not right. It's like, you can't give people that much time, especially when must admit, I'm starting to worry about Wednesday. I don't see any weak sides in this league this season. The stupid. I ain't got anything to do with this off the pitch shit, John. I've had this in the thing with you on my stuff. Us as fans, we can't do fuck all about what's off the pitch.
Yeah, I think he's just saying that when Wednesday as a whole, with what happened during the summer,
does have an effect.
I think the issue is you've got Wednesday going from masses high from the playoff game to Wembley to thinking, right, we'll build with Darren Moore. And we've all got that feeling that we're going to build with him, and then getting it nicked out from underneath us straight away has absolutely crippled us, because we were already 2 or 3 months behind from a play. They always say, you're in the playoff final, you are a month behind everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, we're already a month behind everyone else who are in the playoff final. Then our manager goes and doesn't come in until the 4th of July. So we're 2 months behind then. We have he goes straight to preseason. Doesn't get his players in until he gets back, which is like the 17th. And he's not done any preseason with them. It's what I expected. This is why I've got to just surviving, because I know it's going to be really difficult. There is no easy teams in this thing. I will say this, I don't think Preston offered much, but when they were clinical, they got the goal. And the thing is, I think with Wente, time and patience, but the fan base is so toxic with what's going on with what's going on with Chansiri. I'm all for anyone who's got an opinion about what's going on behind the scenes at our club or behind the scenes, Chansiri in or out. I get that. But as how many times have fans wanted an ownership out and it's not happened and they're stuck with them? It took Birmingham how long to get their owners out, and their owners are out?
Oh, God, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look at Blackpool.
Look at Blackpool. If you want a really bad example, look at Man United. They protest, they charge game, and they still won't go. I'm all happy for people to have an opinion on it, but the problem is when you saying what happened with Darren Moore, the fan didn't cause that. We didn't do that. That's nothing we can control. We can't control what owners do.
Yeah. He has come back and said that it wasn't anything personal, which
I know it is.
To see.
It's more that we've had this discussion before.
Right. But I think,
but I agree.
It's what happened in the summer has got to have had an impact. Like you just said, you're already a month behind.
Yeah.
Then whatever happened between Darren Moore and Chansiri, I don't think we'll ever truly know. Obviously, we've heard about Darren Moore asking for 4 times his salary. I don't think we'll ever truly know.
There was an event Darren Moore did in Sheffield Friday, and some fans asked him, and he said he's not said any. That's not what happened. But again, he's not going to air out his dirty laundry, and that's Darren Moore.
Yeah, we'll probably never know the true story.
To be out of football for long. I hope he gets a job soon.
Yeah, he'll get
a good coach.
Wouldn't surprise me if he takes about 6 months off though, because I reckon 2 years of working under Chansiri must have done a hell of a lot of damage.
But yeah, obviously that's knocked you back a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So that's just going to have a knock-on effect into the season. And like John said earlier, there's not really a weak team in the Championship, so it's going to be a tough, old, long season. Lee,
there's some a lot stronger than others, though.
Yeah. Lee, get your thoughts on Wednesday, mate. How worried are you?
I'm going to go down the positive route today. I've slept on it. Now, I'm a realist fan. I knew what the state of play were going to be going into this season, even before what happened. Obviously, with Moore, it was going to be a tough, hard season with the teams coming down and the teams still in there. It was never going to be anything but where we are. We're going to be in the mix for relegation. I think the positive from this game, I think the performance in the first half, like Jake touched on, was positive. Obviously, the new guy, Diaby, and obviously Byers coming back in, shown signs that we're progressing slightly, but it's going to be a week in, week out progression. I think Wednesday fans, you've got to be patient. I know football fans aren't patient. They want that win now, but you've just got to be a realist and just be patient and just look at the bigger picture. Just look at the teams in there. I mean, Preston's been in this league for some time now, and they're a tough team to beat. No game is easy coming into this league. It's not like it's a League One where you're expected to win every week. It's a tough league, and it's only going to get tougher. So all I ask is Wednesday fans, just stick with them, because it's progress, and just getting on the back of manager, it's just not helping. If say we do sack him, you're then going back.
We can't afford it.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and it's just
we can't afford it if it takes 4 weeks to get a manager in.
Yeah, it might not. might not happen till end of September, October, where we start seeing these wins and results.
I've got a theory, right? And I don't know if you agree with this one, Lee. We got an international break coming up after the league game. Do you think he's going to treat that as like a second pre-season to get some of these lads up to speed?
It would be sensible.
Possibly, yeah. I think he's just finding out who he can trust, and we touched on Grant McCann earlier. It's just he's trying things, and he's looking at players. It's just building. Watched Spurs the other day, and I know it's Premier League, but Ange Postecoglou, he tried.
Oh, he's superb, Ange. Sorry.
He tried Pedro Porro at right back, and he said, "I'm going to be trying new things. It's not their position. Players are going to swap, and he's going to see what players have to offer." I think it's going to be like that. He's got to learn to trust, and sometimes it's players that he not necessarily wanted. He's just got to learn about them and what they can offer, and whether you can trust and rely on them every week. You've got to be patient.
I think the thing is, you've got to be patient, and there was big improvements, like you said. I think we also like in the first half. I think the thing is, one of the things that keep getting asked by journalists is why certain players are not in and all this kind of stuff. So why James and Windass been left out? That's the first game Windass been left out, mate. So I don't take too much of that because he's trying something else. He's trying to find his best 11. I don't think any of our clubs have got their best 11 sorted yet. They're nowhere near it. And the thing is, he's trying to find his best 11. And to be fair to James, I don't know if he doesn't fit into his system, but I don't think that's his left back for this season. I think his left back for the season is Paul Valentini, we've not seen yet, who we brought in who highly rated. I think you got to remember, we've gone from having 17 players at the start of pre-season to now having 11 players in really fast. Takes so long to gel. I think we might be a little bit like Forest, where it takes a while to gel. And when it does, it'll gel, but it's going to take time. And again, with what's going on with the ownership, with how things is, don't get me wrong, I don't think the ownership covers himself in glory with the price of the tickets and shirts and stuff. But at the same time, we don't know what his overheads are, but it shouldn't go back down to the fans. He should cover that himself. But it is what it happens.
End of the day, Jay, us fans will always be here to support us clubs. Exactly. Owners, managers will come in the door and it'll change. We'll always be here. We'll always be blue and white, and we'll always support them. So I just advise Wednesday fans, just go and support the team and just get behind the boys. End of the day, what's happening off the pitch, just forget that. It's done. You can't affect that. Chansiri is Chansiri. You're never going to change that. So it's pointless getting daggers because it's just affecting what's happening on the pitch. Just turn up, get behind the boys and cheer them on, and hopefully week in, week out, you will start seeing that progress. But take time. And on Windass, no player is guaranteed a starting 11. You've got to earn a place. If you're not performing, you go out. We touched on McCann. He made the changes. He wasn't happy with what he saw. So change it. And
there's a difference between what we see in 90 minutes and what they see in a full week of training.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's hard to do, but we'll see what happens. 3 games in.
I've tried to be as positive as I can. I've got to be positive on today.
I think a key area for Wednesday is trying to keep George Byers fit and keep him on the pitch. Yeah, because I really rate that lad. I think he's a good player.
Good for I think we got him on a 3 and all.
I think one thing with Munoz, I think what he's trying to do is get that back 4 and obviously keeper and get them clean sheets. Then you can build. If you get clean sheets, you've chance of winning games. It's getting them clean sheets, and that breeds confidence. You look at Ipswich, we're going to touch on shortly. QPR had abundance of chances. They kept the clean sheet, got the goal.
So unlucky.
They look really. But that's the thing. If we go to Ipswich, QPR now down.
Yeah, I'm conscious of time. We've gone over hour like we always do.
Yeah.
So we'll go QPR Ipswich, and we've got Christian Fashnat is a legend. He's wanting Norwich.
No.
Norwich
Not today.
Millwall as well. So obviously, if you've been to the game, please get your thoughts in on that, and we will go there next after QPR Ipswich. Go for it.
I think the thing with this one, QPR actually had chances and were okay, but Ipswich, again, if you set up to having a decent back lineup, you can have that situation where you get peppered all game and then you've got the quality. We all know how good Connor Chapman is. He's a fantastic player. You look at what they've done recruitment-wise, it's been really good. I think QPR possibly were unlucky not to really get something out of it if you actually look at it. But Ipswich just look like they suit the Championship straight away, don't they?
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah.
I think the key with Ipswich, he's not changed a lot, and he's got that. He's
Kept
built
the
on that momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Ian, on Ipswich, I think what they've done in League One over the last couple of years is start to build a squad that's probably beyond League One level, ready to really compete in the Championship. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
I think they were set up to absolutely batter League One last season, weren't they?
Yeah. They're a top six club for me.
Yeah.
Ipswich, because of the momentum that they've carried forward, because of McKenna's doing a fantastic job. They've got their entire fan base on side, which is a big help. But yeah, Rangers were unlucky yesterday. Did you see that one? Was it Armstrong that hit both posts?
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh.
I think on Ainsworth, his post-match interview, I think it was very positive. I think if I was a QPR fan, I could be quite. You could sort of get behind it type thing, because they were, even though they lost, they
were very upbeat.
We've touched on it, Dan. They've turned up and give it a real go against a good Ipswich side, and they were very unlucky. And that is it Sinclair Armstrong? I think he's going to be an absolute player. He looks. I mean, he just run from the left. No one could get near him, and he just paced for days. He was going to be some talent, that lad.
Yeah. And
Do you guys agree with NCFC?
Especially in Championship, you need pace.
Yeah.
What was that, Dan?
Just asking if you guys agree with this comment that MTFC has just put on. Feel like once Ipswich lose, they could have that drop off.
No.
Do you think they'll have that bounce back ability after their first defeat?
I think they will.
I think they're a solid.
We said that about Argyle last season, didn't we? Once they lose an home game.
We did. And
they
didn't.
They didn't fall off. They just got stronger.
Yeah.
What about you, Lee? Do you think that first defeat will cause a drop off, or do you think they'll have that bounce back ability?
No, because he's got that unit and solid unit. They're going to lose games. No team's going to. I think he's got a good unit there, and he's lose it, they'll just bounce back. I think that home form for Ipswich will be vital again, and obviously they've proved here they've defended well and nicked it.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, we will move on to Norwich against Millwall. Christian Pashnat is a legend. Get your comment in as soon as you can, because I'll be honest, I've not seen anything on this game.
Who's Christian Pashnat?
I don't know.
Has anyone heard of him?
He's a legend, apparently.
Is
It's out of our area, I think. But no, looking at this one, more possession, plenty of shots on goal with 20 shots at goal, but only 5 on target. I think that could raise a little bit of concern in terms of kind of converting the chances that they've got. But out of the 5, 3 in the back of the net, Millwall are always a tough team to play against. But I think I'd probably say Millwall are a tougher team to play at home than they are away.
Christian Pashnat's Norwich City winger.
I'll explain it then. I thought you were an actor.
You had to research it though, Jake, didn't you?
Yeah, of course I did.
must be a cult hero in.
I thought an Austrian actor or something.
But Lewis has said it. Ashley Barnes is a top signing for Norwich, certainly, especially
definitely.
at this level as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Unlike Millwall,
He did it for Burnley for donkey's years, didn't he?
very unlike Millwall to concede that many.
it
They're
is.
they're normally quite
to help us out a little bit. Millwall are utterly terrible in this. Very unlike Rowett performance, got out battled all over the pitch.
Yeah, you don't often say that about Millwall, do you?
Nope.
No, if you're going to get something from Millwall, it's grit and determination, isn't it? So it's very unlike them to see that. Maybe Norwich were just that good on the day.
When Norwich are on at Carrow Road, it's a frightening place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aberdeen's worried about Millwall. Don't think they can contend for top 6. I think top 6 is really tough to get into this season in the Championship for sure. But the way Norwich have started, they could well be up there or thereabouts. Is there any other games that you guys want to touch on before we finish off? We're at an hour and 50.
Let's cheer John Morrell up. Birmingham start, superb.
Yeah.
Superb start to the season. It just shows you what a bounce a new ownership and a new regime can have on a football club.
He said last night he was having no belief with how high up in the table they are.
Yeah. I mean, a 2-0 win at Ashton Gate, that is remarkable. Because Bristol City at home are strong. And it looked like it was a comfortable win.
Yeah, I don't know if the red card really had that much of an impact on the game. They were already 1-0 up.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with the stadium, because then Liverpool, the people who are doing the stadium, the company gone bust.
Yeah.
And gone into administration.
Well, we'll need somebody to do it because it's not safe at the moment, is it?
But on that, I've seen like people like mocking the Liverpool thing on it, the kind of thing, Everton fans mocking it. I know it's the kind of thing. But remember, people have just lost their jobs. Don't bother.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. People have lost their job. They've got to figure out how they're going to have an income. So use your head before you put something.
Yeah, it's all fun and games, isn't it, when it's a rival club? But like you say, there's people in that construction industry that they've now got to search for an income, which is not nice.
Yeah, it's a dodgy industry to be in, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A word on Lukas Juktovic. I've probably absolutely butchered his name.
No, I think you nailed that.
But I remember him being around for
He's been around for so many years.
He's
As
always scored
a
goals,
Donny
hasn't
fan
he?
and going to
Always scored
Birmingham, and
goals.
he scored past us, I think. And we've not been in Championship for some time now. He's always seems he's been at Birmingham for ages. He's got to be at that kind of cult hero status at Birmingham now for sure. But always seems to pop up with goals as well still.
Yeah.
So still doing his job. Christian has popped in. I'll call him Christian. It's not Christian. so John Rowe scored a banger. Millwall had about 2,500 fans. So then Jack Stacey, and then second half Josh Sargent got a goal, and then Ashley Barnes scored on the 56th. So I think
Sargent, isn't he that American international that played in World Cup?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
one.
But yeah, I think it was a comfortable day for Norwich on the just looking at it, to be fair. MTFC said that is that striker that will get you double figures just every season. So there we are. Lewis has also said that the Japanese player at Birmingham, he looks very good. He does indeed.
He does indeed, yeah.
Yeah. Any other games in the Championship we want to touch on before we round this episode off?
Yeah.
Are we doing
Watford
predictions?
haven't started very well, have they?
It was
I
that
wonder whether they're going to sack the manager.
Watford.
Yeah. But Stoke, decent start. They look very strong at home. They absolutely wiped the floor with us in the first game. And they're looking. They might have a good season at Stoke City. They've got a decent squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are indeed. So I think that rounds us off for the 72 review this week. We will go on to predictions. Hopefully you guys can see this. We're working on this. We're progressing it and improving it every single week. So on the left-hand side, I think, left-hand side of the screen. I don't know how our computers work.
Left-hand side.
Yeah, it's
Left-hand
left-hand
side of the
side.
screen. These are the predictions that we're going for this week. So starting with Ian, go down from top to bottom. Give us your predictions for this week.
Okay. I think Sheffield Wednesday will get the first point. I'm going Cardiff 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
I'm agreeing with you on that. I've gone 1-1.
I don't think we stand a snowball's chance in hell. I think I'm going for 0-3 for Rotherham and Leicester.
I've been kinder. I've gone 2-0 Leicester.
The third one's a bit more difficult to predict Bristol Rovers are quite strong at home. Wickham are just Wickham. I'm going for a home win, 2-1.
I've gone 1-0 for that one.
MK, I'm sorry, Dan. I'm so really sorry. I apologise in advance. 4-0.
Oh,
4-0 MK Dons against.
you're a bit harsher than me. I've gone 3-0 to MK. So yeah, no hard feelings. Jake.
I'm going 1-1 win to Cardiff.
Yep.
I'm going 2-0 Leicester.
Yep.
2-0 Bristol Rovers. And I'm sorry, Jan. I'm going to go 4-0 as well.
Not invited back. Lee.
So I'm going to stick with my positive swing on Wednesday. I'm going 2-1 Wednesday win.
Yeah.
I'm going 2-0 Leicester, 1-0 Bristol Rovers, and MK to win 3-1.
There you go. You see, at least you've got a goal.
You got consolation.
So, as always, get your predictions in for those. If you've not put any predictions in previously, I will add you to the table. Last week's predictions are at the top. Obviously, anything that's red is wrong. Anything that's orange is the right result, so you get 1 point. The right outcome, but not the right result, so you get 1 point. Anything that's green on that table, you got it spot on, so you get 3 points. The table at the minute, Ian, you're still sitting top on 11 points. Jake, you've caught up on 10, but you're joint with Lizzie and Lee. MTFC is in 5th on 9 with Adam Gittins. I've dropped down to 7th on 8 points. ATID, Neil, Liam, Martin, Bailey are all on 7. Worko's on 5, Jonathan's on 4, and Lewis is on 2. So please get your predictions in. I'll check the comments in a while, and I'll make sure that they're in the table for next week.
Just mention there, Dan, I've had a stormer this week.
You have to. Let's get it back on. How many points did you get there? 7.
Yeah,
Absolute worldie of the
Not
week.
bad at all, there, Lee.
Very, very
Did
good.
you get 2 correct scores?
Yeah, who at 2?
Donny,
Sunderland
Gary, and Sunderland Robin.
Knows his stuff indeed. So let's go around the screen, starting with Lee. Any final words before we round this one off, mate?
No, enjoyed the show. Just a little mention to my mum and dad. I'm a bit worried about the bad fires out there in Tenerife. So we're thinking about everyone on the island of Tenerife. I know it's far away from everyone. No one's probably worried about it, but yeah, just a little worried for them. But hopefully, next 48 hours it starts picking up for them all.
Yeah, too right. It's not a good situation to be in. Hopefully, your parents stay safe, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Ian, any final words before we round off?
Very cathartic, very therapeutic. Got a lot off my chest. Enjoyed it as always. And see you all next week.
Yeah, I charge $2.50 an hour, mate. So we're about.
You're cheap. Yeah.
Can I just add to mine, Dan, please?
Go for it.
Also, you obviously mentioned me hitting 3,000 subscribers. I wouldn't have done it without you boys. So thank you very much for your support throughout setting up my channel. You've helped me loads.
You're the one putting yourself out there filming it and editing, mate. You've done all the hard
that's
work.
a load of
Yeah,
bollocks.
you
I'm not
deserve
taking
all
any
the credit.
credit
No,
for the 3,000.
not taking none. You've done all that yourself, mate.
Yeah, massively earned them.
Thanks, lads, anyway.
You'll be too big for us. You'll be flying off with Thogden.
He'll be doing the overlap soon.
Don't, Dan, don't. The mere mention of that bloke's name. Well, bloke.
Triggered Ian. Jake, any final words, mate?
No, it's been a good show. It's been good to get things off our chest. This little guy managed to stay on here, and he wants to say something before we
go. Ignore the trolls.
There you go.
Love it. And obviously, it's been a tough weekend for me. My final words are: Donny are poor. England have let me down. I hate football. But this Sunday stream just makes it all the more better. It makes it easier to dissect. And like Ian said, you get a lot off your chest. I hope that it's just as therapeutic to everybody who's in the chat, because we're all one community. We love as clubs as much as anybody else, and it's just about being together and enjoying football. So
I'll be honest, when Dan first approached the idea of this, I don't think we both thought it would grow to this, and the fact that it has, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's a big thanks to you for you three on the panel and everybody who tunes in every single week. We wouldn't do it. Well, we probably would do it without you guys because we we need to get it off his chest. But you guys do make it all the more better. So thanks a lot. Share it near, far, and wide. And let's get as many people involved in this community as possible because it is a very good community and everybody's pretty respectful, which we advocate or enjoy as well. So all that's left for me to say is if you're watching this on repeat, get your comments in the section down below, like it, share it, subscribe to all of us if you haven't already. And all that's left for me to say is this has been the 72 review, episode 41. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Your 50 quid in the post, Dan.